So
Right.
if you can give us that docket number, where to find it, right?
Hmm.
That will really help everybody. So when this comes up, people could go read for themselves that Pooh's information, unlike others, right, is available. Like
Okay.
Blue Da Vinci, he did a safety valve, but
No, he did
his
not get safety valve. I want to be clear about that.
no, Blue Da Vinci got a safety valve.
Oh,
We got
Blue
his
Da Vinci. I'm
paperwork.
sorry. I was
Yeah,
trying to type
but
in the.
when we go to look for the statement is not available, right? So we do know Pooh Shiesty did not have a safety valve. He just has this stage of a proffer, but his proffer is available for people to see what he actually signed and what statement he gave. And the statement he gave was him admitting guilt for his personal crime. Correct?
Exactly. That's
Got
correct.
it. Okay, so if you can give the people like a docket number and a location they can find it, that would definitely help us.
Give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you right now.
Gotcha.
Hey,
And
Ghost, you looked it up?
Where's Ghost at? Is Ghost here? Is
Yeah,
Miss
yeah, I'm right
Ghost
here.
here?
I'm right here.
Did you
All
look
right.
it up?
Ghost, you following what
He gonna
Mr.
give us the
Napoleon
website
saying,
right
right?
now.
Yeah, yeah, I hear exactly what he's saying. I'm following.
Okay. All right.
I want to go one further for y'all too, by the way.
Good. That's what
So
we here for, brother.
in this particular case, there is a transcript of the sentencing hearing. Okay. So at sentencing, I can guarantee you this, that had Pooh Shiesty cooperated with the government, he will be jumping up and down about how he helped the government and all these things, and all that would be in the record of the sentencing transcript when he got sentenced to prison. But none of that is there. None of it is about him telling on somebody else. None of it is about him cooperating with the government. I was at all of the hearings, and I am telling you for a fact, nobody in this case cooperated. Shiesty didn't cooperate. His co-defendants didn't cooperate. Nobody cooperated. I'll send you the transcript of the
Right.
sentencing hearing, and that'll. I don't know. I hear a backdrop. I don't know if that's me or somebody else.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll give the docket entry number for the sentencing transcript too, just in case anybody's interested in reading it. Because I'm telling you right now, there's nothing in there whatsoever. He's like, oh yeah, we cooperated with the government, so therefore we're eligible for, as you put it, the safety valve, and therefore we should get a lighter sentence.
Well,
It
let
don't
me clear that
exist.
up. Let me clear that up.
Right.
Nowhere in Pooh Shiesty's paperwork did we see phrase or term safety valve. Right?
Right.
Let's clear that up.
Right.
What we did see was, let me make sure I'm dead on spot. Um, with this terminology, and this would spark the interest of everybody. What we did see was um, a government factual proffer, and that's what you're clearing up. What that really means, and the government factual proffer in Pooh Shiesty's situation, unlike other proffers, is available public record where you can actually see everything that was said and everything that was agreed upon and signed off by Pooh Shiesty. Am I correct?
That's correct.
There we have it. So, when he's going to provide the docket number and the location to everybody down in the Google, to everybody out here in blogger land, YouTube land. So that way, when this young man come home, right, he can jumpstart, get back to his career, his family, his loved ones, and he don't have to deal with this. Um, we're here to either show that he did wrong or show that he did nothing wrong. So his attorney is here, Mr. Napoleon. That is his attorney that saw through the whole case, and he's providing the actual docket numbers. He's providing the location where you can go see this form of Pooh Shiesty proffer. And what he's stating is that Pooh Shiesty only gave information admitting to his guilt on this particular crime, not involving anybody else. Am I right, Mr. Napoleon?
Correct. And I just want to make sure that something is clear too.
Go
So
ahead.
what it actually says is that the United States, the defendant and defendant's counsel agree that had this case gone to trial, the United States would have been able to prove the following facts. that are sufficient to establish the defendant's guilt to the offenses charged in the indictment. So I just want to make sure that this is not a statement that anyone gave to the government. Nobody in this case, none of the defendants sat down and talked to the government. This document was prepared by the government, that was reviewed by counsel, all of us, and we agreed, all of the defendants, that this is the factual proffer for everybody. So it begs the question, who did he snitch on if everybody signed this same factual proffer? Everybody has the same one. Everybody
I got
has
a question.
Go
So
ahead.
did he tell on another case? Because why would the daddy send Wack 100 some other paperwork?
that has nothing. I can tell you right now. Listen, there were a lot of cases or a lot of incidents that the government was trying to link him to. Okay, this has nothing. The only conviction that he has is in this particular case. There are no other cases. I don't know why he would send this particular document. I don't know if he sent that as an example to show what a factual proffer is.
No,
No, he
But that
sent that.
sweetie.
He,
He's saying that because of um he basically saying he snitched to get a lower time or cooperate with the case that you
what?
proving right now.
No,
right.
what
So
he
I'll
sent
so
it.
listen.
He
Napoleon,
sent
I'm
it. Let me
sorry.
let me let me make sure because I was the one on the phone with him. He sent it because we were using the terminology proffer, right, Napoleon,
Right.
and he was like, "No, it was a government factual proffer, meaning this was the information that the government gathered, right, and presented." So when they went and defined government factual proffer, the definition of the government factual proffer said something totally different, right? So at that point is when he got you on the phone, right? So I said, you know what? Let's just clear it up. You can put all the documents. And have you found
I have. So
the
the
docket
factual
number?
proffer was given on January 4th of 2022. It's docket entry number 154.
Okay, and where could the people find that?
Well, you have to have access to the federal court's online system. So anyone who has a lawyer that is licensed to practice in federal court can pull that up.
Well, can I ask you something?
Yes,
Since
sir.
our since your purpose is here to clear up, right,
Hmm.
this misconception of what
Right.
this type of proffer is, will you
Hmm.
be willing to provide the documents so we can just let people notice what it is?
Right. So, like I told you before, I don't. I have to be careful about what I can and cannot provide, especially on from the government's database. But I'll tell you this: we ordered the trial, we ordered the sentencing hearing transcripts. We paid for that out of our own money. Okay, so
Okay.
I can provide you with the sentencing hearing transcripts where you can see for
No,
yourself.
but sweetie, you have to understand. You have
Oh,
to provide every single thing.
no, what
So
I'm saying,
how can we go on record and saying that he did not tell if we only could get half of it? We need the full
so
thing.
what
Okay,
I'm
why don't you
saying
do
is,
this? Turn off the live. I'll show it to you. I just don't want me putting it
no,
on the
no, no.
live.
Listen.
Go ahead.
This is me, right? I'm
Right.
asking you, right?
Right.
The document that Pooh
Hmm.
Shiesty gave the factual proffer on
Right.
about his involvement only,
Correct.
right? Being clear,
Hmm.
right? Could you provide me with that document, right? Me personally, so I can. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
right now. It could be after we're
Yes.
done. Because
Yes.
what I'm saying is, if it's in favor of Pooh, then I don't think that should be a problem.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, of course.
Okay,
Right.
great. All right, so we'll handle that
And,
after the
and I'm
fact.
telling you, I will one up you. I will give you the full sentencing transcript where you can see for yourself. I'm on there, Sam Zangane's on there, Brad Cohen is on there. We were a team together that represented these individuals.
Gotcha.
Nobody is going to say that they should have received a lower sentence because they cooperated with the government. This is the
Did he
sentencing
get? Did he
hearing.
get the mandatory minimum, or did he get below?
So the government was basically trying to make this into a Hobbs Act robbery. They wanted him to go to jail for 20 years. So what we did is we flew to Memphis. We went to all these other places to make sure that we understood all the different cases, all the different events that they were trying to tie them to. And so we did our homework, we did our due diligence, and we got a very, very good result for all of the individuals who were involved. They tried to throw the book at him. If you look at his indictment, and if you look at the counts of the indictment, and if you look at some of the other things that the government filed and what they were trying to give him, it's telling. Okay, it's very telling.
So Napoleon, what I'm asking, right, is
Mhm.
this for what you guys end up with his charges, his bottom line charges were, right?
Right.
Did he get below his
Below.
mandatory minimum, or did he get mandatory minimum and above? Like what was
There
his
was no
mandatory
mandatory.
minimum?
There was no mandatory minimum. The way that it happened is that he pled guilty to one specific count in the indictment that did not have a minimum mandatory sentence. So
Gotcha.
therefore, the federal sentencing guidelines kick in, and you get to argue about what the guideline range should be.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. What range did he fall into? You mind me asking?
Well, what the government suggested or what we suggested?
No. What? Well,
What did
what?
he get?
What
Did
is
he get
bottom
less
line?
time than everybody on the case?
No.
No.
So what I'm asking you, Napoleon, is usually they'll say, okay, mandatory minimum 60 months, and it can range up to um, 98 months. I'm just giving a
Right.
an
So what you're
example,
talking
right?
about is the guideline range.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so if you give me 1 second, I'm going to explain the charge that he pled guilty to and what the government suggested the guideline range should be. And then what we ultimately proved the guideline range was. And it's going to be important so that I can explain the distinction to you.
Okay.
Okay, so
Great.
just give me 1 second. Let me pull it up.
No problem. Go. Did Baby Runner come in here?
I see him.
Okay. And to Big Bank Hank, Wack looking crazy because the lawyer's shooting down every point he's trying to make. Wack's not trying to make any points. Wack is asking the questions that the people are asking because I have legal here that can clear up more than just a blogger or some guy sitting at the corner store. So that's what Wack's asking. So that way we can cover it A to Z and leave no stone unturned. That way when we leave this situation, that young man come home, whatever the outcome is of the answers and the documents provided is what it is. That's my stance in this whole situation. Um,
Give me
go.
2 seconds. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm
Okay.
scrolling down because there was a lot of documents that were filed in this case. And we had to combat a lot of information. So I'm scrolling to try to get to the right portion. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, so to anybody watching, like Wack said, we're here to just get the truth, whether it be to help someone or not. It ain't biased. It's not against nobody. We actually got his family and his team here, so we just want the truth. That's it.
That way, everybody in the world that's speaking a lie, they can come back to this link and they can hear the truth. And pretty sure whatever question or whatever somebody's saying, the attorney, Mr. Napoleon, he would have been asked that question, and you would have heard him answer it, and then give direction on where you can go look for it, look at it yourself. That's
Okay.
all it's about.
So let me explain to you how everything worked. So there was a superseding indictment that charged him with several different counts, and everybody with several different counts:
Mhm.
Hobbs Act robbery, conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery, and all these other things. We were going to trial. We were preparing for trial. We flew to Memphis. We flew to all these different places because the government was trying to get us to plead to something that we just were not going to do. They were 22 years old around that age at the time, and spending 20 years of your life in jail just didn't make any sense. So as a compromise, the government offered everybody in this case to plead to one count of conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of a violent and drug trafficking crime. Okay, so that's what they actually pled guilty to. Now, that particular portion of the United States Code or that particular crime does not have a specific offense level. Okay, so what does that mean? You have to look at the facts and the circumstances of the case to determine what the guideline range should be. The government was trying to hold Bobby Brown, Pooh Shiesty, and everybody else to the firearms conspiracy charge in furtherance of an attempted murder. All right. The government was trying to say that the applicable guideline range should be 97 months. Now, again, there's no minimum mandatory penalty, but they were saying that the guideline range should be 97 months. We argued that it was not a robbery. This, at best, was an aggravated assault. And we said that the guideline range should have a lower offense level based on the fact that this is an aggravated assault. If you look at the sentencing hearing transcripts, the judge ultimately agreed with us after looking at the video that this was not a robbery. This was an aggravated assault. So therefore, the guideline range substantially decreased down to approximately 46 months, and that's what the judge sentenced them to. The government was asking for a whole lot in the beginning. They changed their position, dropped down, and then the judge still ultimately agreed with us that the guideline range should be lower than what the government was suggesting because you got to get you a paid lawyer, and that's what happens when you do.
So at the end of the day, the 97 months after you guys argued what certain charges shouldn't be, what did it come down to?
To the 46 months. Actually, Pooh's was a little bit higher because he had two offenses that were on camera, and the judge found that it was a aggravated assault for the incident in Bay Harbor Islands, and then also the one that was in the Gentlemen's Club.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember both. I'm definitely
Right.
the Gentlemen's Club. The Gentlemen's Club was a firearm situation, correct?
Correct.
And the Harbor one was uh, allegedly a robbery, and I think they used some type of video or picture to identify the serial number of on the money. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, so Pooh left $40,000 behind, and that's what we argued. We said, Judge, if this was a robbery, why would he leave $40,000 and priceless music that he actually had in his bag that he recorded behind? This clearly was a situation that got out of control, and the reality of it is that the people who he supposedly robbed actually had firearms on them. A shot went off. Nobody knows what happened, and then bullets started flying. So we said, Judge, this wasn't a robbery. Who goes to a robbery in a green McLaren with $40,000 in priceless music in your bag and rob somebody over some gym shoes and some weed? That's stupid.
Without a shiesty mask.
Right, exactly.
Without a shiesty mask.
Right. Without a
You
shiesty
know?
mask, that's dumb. Like that's just stupid. So, and the judge, as conservative as he is, actually agreed with us. He said this isn't a robbery, and so that's why he sentenced him to the lower guideline range.
So he got sentenced to the lower guideline range. But in this
Right.
situation case, to make sure I'm hearing it right,
Hmm.
there was not a mandatory minimum, as was 46 the minimum.
No, there was no minimum mandatory penalty. The judge could have went below the guideline range if he wanted to. He just chose not to because most of the time judges sentence within the guideline range. But there was no departure, or he didn't get departure rather. He didn't get some type of special treatment for cooperation. It's nowhere in the sentencing transcripts. It did not happen.
So everybody that's just pulling up, Mr. Napoleon is Pooh Shiesty's legal. We got Loose Cannon 600. Ghost, the exposures on deck on the panel. We're here to clear up the governmental proffer that's stated and stipulated in Pooh Shiesty's paperwork, the attorney is showing us and giving us guidance to where we can go find this paperwork. He's going to send it to me to where we can actually see what Pooh Shiesty signed for, what he agreed to, um, which was anything and everything that has something to do with his involvement in these two crimes. One being the gun situation at a club, another being attempted robbery or shooting at another location, right? So he's providing um, and showing us that that's not a sealed document, that it
Right.
is in fact available for the public. He's offering to send that as well as other documents to me, which I will provide, um, and to show that his type of proffer, this type of proffer, did not involve him giving information on everybody else. It was simply him pleading out to what he was going to plead guilty to. Am I on point,
You are
Napoleon?
on point with that. I just want to add one little caveat to that. There may be other people's names like Bobby Brown and Jayden DeRosa that was in there and it had information that they had. They had to put that in there for the link to this quote unquote conspiracy. But remember, everybody
I'll
signed the
stop
same.
right there.
Go ahead.
Did Pooh precisely did he collaborate things about these people's names?
No, there he never,
I'm,
never,
I'm,
he
I'm
never.
just, I'm asking you the question
Right.
because when you say these things, I know what they're thinking, so I got to clear them up as we go, right?
Okay, so let me be crystal clear. Nobody, Pooh Shiesty, Bobby Brown, or Jayden DeRosa sat down with the government. Nobody. Okay. The government gave everybody basically the same factual proffer statement. Okay. And what I mean by that, the factual proffer that every defendant has to take so that they are eligible to plead guilty to a crime. Okay. So the proffer statement that I'm talking about is a public record that he needed to sign so that he could plead guilty. If he didn't sign it, he couldn't plead guilty and he would basically be forced to go to trial. So what I'm explaining to you is that when you see people's names in there, you're going to see the only other names you're going to see are the people that were pleading guilty with him. So everybody pled guilty and everybody got the same factual proffer. And those three people who was his co-conspirators, that was their name, but they were sitting right next to him when they all signed it together. So it's not like they told on somebody. They all agreed that this is what happened, and they were all there together at that particular point in time. You're muted.
So
Wack,
when
you're
you
mute.
say that they all agreed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that each individual only agreed to what they did? None of these individuals, especially Pooh Shiesty, collaborated the government's or law enforcement's charges against anyone else other than himself.
What I'm telling you is that's correct. But it's even more important to point out the fact that he didn't agree to anything. He just agreed that if we were to go to trial, it's essentially saying that's what the government is saying that they're going to prove. Okay? That's what it is.
600, you got some questions?
Not too many questions. I think this kind of like sums up a little bit. I do want to give a shout out to Pooh because months back he posted a picture of him and some guys, and he put a rat over somebody. And for his age group and his era, I thought that was a big step because a lot of dudes in that era don't really speak like that or actually show that stuff on social media. So I gave him a shout out for that. All this stuff has been a lot of speculation for me. I never really saw nothing too concrete, but I'm glad that we got his lawyer to kind of like give us some closure, even without those documents.
Right.
Um, I think it's a better understanding, for him and his fans to see that. I think from what came from this is that he just basically spoke up for himself,
Right.
pled guilty for himself
Right.
to get it out the way.
That's
If,
exactly
if no one else is implicated in it, and what he said, you know, I think
Yeah,
he'll be okay if he
I
cares
know,
about being
but
effective.
Listen, what I just found out is that he's in other people's paperwork.
But whose
He,
paperwork are you suggesting? Who you saying he's in? Because if we
he's
don't,
in his co-defendant paperwork. She was like, he just said that um the time that he was supposed to get, the recommended time is 20 years. Pooh Shiesty only got 4.
no, he said that's what he was facing, and I
No,
believe
that was the time. That's the bare minimum.
No,
no.
Are you talking about Jaden DeRosa?
Yeah, Pooh
He did not
Shiesty
get 20
was in
years.
paper. No, Pooh Shiesty was in his paperwork. His name with a statement. Can you clear that up?
Okay, so what you're, and this is what I was trying to explain to you. Okay, if Pooh Shiesty is in Jaden DeRosa's paperwork, that doesn't mean that Pooh Shiesty sat down and talked to somebody. All that means is that Jaden DeRosa, what he's trying to do, Jaden DeRosa is basically trying to say, why did I get sentenced? I think he got sentenced to 8 years when Pooh Shiesty got sentenced to 4 or 5. That's what Jaden
He got
DeRosa
sent.
was. Go
Okay,
Listen,
ahead.
when you say Luce
I
that
got
Pooh
him in the
Shiesty's in
background.
the paperwork, right?
Hmm.
Are
Yeah,
you saying
with a
that?
statement.
Are you saying that there's a statement where it says whatever Pooh Shiesty's first and last name says, such and such individuals confirms or says this
No,
individual? If so, Ghost is Ghost in here?
Yeah. I'm right here.
Ghost, what is it that Luke? Are you seeing any of this, or what is it that you're seeing, so we can clear this up, or
What I
one way
see,
or another?
what I see, and this is what I wanted to ask the attorney is in that factual proffer, right? Those
yeah,
when Autumn did that factual proffer, and the statements that's in that factual proffer, where they're admitting each other's names about the crimes that they did or whatever, right? About the crime that they committed, right? When they went for their sentencing to accept that plea, did they have to admit to that stuff and say those people names as well?
never,
So
never.
so
That's
so
what I'm
did
trying
it
to explain to
when
y'all.
the judge read that out, did they have to agree to it or anything like that?
No,
They didn't
I'll
have to
listen.
agree.
I'm gonna
They didn't
send you
have
the
to agree to
sentences.
none of those facts. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that the factual proffer that the government put, they gave everybody the same thing. So let's just say, for example,
No,
that
Pooh
all.
Shiesty. Nobody name will be in somebody's paperwork, sweetheart.
I'm
Nobody.
not your sweetheart, but I'm just telling you,
Yeah,
like,
Luke,
listen,
Luke, this is the
I'm
attorney.
I'm
Let's
letting you
address
know
this.
right now that nobody name will be in somebody's paperwork, and
you don't know what you're
that's
talking
facts.
about. So let me explain to you
No,
because
that's
if you let me
facts.
finish, go
Let him
ahead. Let me tell
talk.
you
Let him
facts.
talk.
So
Let him talk.
wax. This is what it is. Okay, me, you, and 600. Right? We go and we rob a McDonald's. It's on camera. Okay, they got the camera showing that we all robbed it. Right? And then we like, you know what? We ain't about to go to trial. We just gonna go and we're gonna take our plea and we just gonna argue what our sentence should be. The government present me, you, and 600 a piece of paper saying on this particular day, y'all three people went there and you agreed that if we went to trial, that's what we would prove, right? And you got a video of it. Is that telling on somebody? Is that having somebody in
Well,
somebody's
me
paperwork?
personally,
Yes,
yeah, me
yes.
personally, right? The only thing I'm going to collaborate is what I did. I can look at a video of you and 600, and if they say, is that 600 and that Napoleon? No answer. I'm going to
Right.
say, that's me and the red
No,
hoodie.
So let
Yeah,
me ask you a
that's,
question.
yeah.
So let me ask you a question. If 600 is right next to you and he say, "Yeah, that's me," are you snitching after 600 just said that? Yeah, that's me.
I'm not,
so
listen,
you
Yes, that's
here,
the
yeah,
thing.
in our world, right? In our world, right? In our world outside of the courts, right? This unorthodox world. If
Right.
you give a statement on anybody other than yourself, they're going to call it tell it, right? And see,
Right.
this is where the word proffer comes in, because when we hear proffer, we hear cooperating with the government, right?
Nah.
Now, I think what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong,
Right.
you're trying to say these three individuals, whether speaking through you or the attorney speaking with each other,
Mm-hmm.
all agreed to take the plea as structured. Is that what you're?
Exactly.
That's
Correct.
what
No,
you're trying to say, right?
Pooh Shiesty pointed the dude out, and
What?
that's facts.
Where is that
You
That's
at?
show me.
facts.
How about this? I'll put up
Listen,
my legal
it's a
fees. You
sealed
put up my
document.
legal
Hey,
fees.
the
No,
dude is
listen to me.
texting
Listen
me
to
right
me.
now. Dead
You
homie.
put up you. I'll put up my legal fees. You put up the money that I got paid. I'm gonna show you all the paperwork, and I want you to. I
Okay,
want you to show me that.
Okay,
show the world
Napoleon.
the
What's
paperwork
the
right now.
Napoleon? What's the
No, you're not. No, you're
no,
not.
Napoleon? What's the
Yeah.
legal?
Show the
How
world the
much? What's the
paperwork.
legal fees of the documents? Because at this point, right, either this whole situation is going to be worth something to where we clear it based upon what
Right.
we can see. Because what you've just said, and I want you to come down a little bit, right, and understand what I'm saying. When they say the word cooperating or snitching,
Mm-hmm.
right, they're going to say when you give any information on anybody other than yourself. And this is why it's a real thin line, right, when it comes down to your codees and all y'all saying we're gonna all just agree to this because we got this one individual I'm hearing that got 8 years who's questioning if we're all agreeing to this, then why did I get 8 and he get 4? Right?
Facts.
And I think that's the where the discrepancy is at. I
You want to
understand
know
what
the
you're
answer to
saying.
that?
No, I understand what you're saying. So my question to you is, was there other attorneys that represent the other two individuals or did you oversee all?
So I represented me, Brad Cohen, and Sam Zangane represented Pooh Shiesty.
Gotcha.
Jaden DeRosa did not. He didn't. He had a appointed attorney. Okay, his attorney did not come out to the places that we went to. And I want to clear something up because what you're insinuating is that somebody sat down with the government. Nobody sat down with the
That's
government
not
and talked.
that's
Oh, oh,
that's not that that's not
listen,
what he's
yeah.
saying.
So
Yeah,
you
He's
telling
telling
me
us.
that
that's not the
all of
point he's
them was
making.
in
That's
a
not the point he's
so
making at
all
Hold
of
all.
on,
them
everybody can't talk at once. Go ahead,
okay,
Luce,
so
and then you
look.
go.
Okay, so in the room getting questioned, they showed the video and everybody agreed that was them. That's what you're saying, right?
No, 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 no. See, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Nobody said when that video was playing in court. Nobody was like, "Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's that person." Y'all know it. If y'all saw the video, there were people that were in that video that never got pointed out. Nothing ever got said about them, even though we know who they are. Nobody ever pointed to nobody. Nobody ever
Okay,
said
then
anything. That's what.
why Pooh Shiesty name is in his paperwork then?
Okay, well, why is Pooh Shiesty? What does that mean that he told him Pooh Shiesty? Is that what you're saying now?
Okay, then
Because the Pooh Shiesty name is in
No,
his
no, no,
paperwork.
no. Pooh Pooh Shiesty, his name is not in Pooh Shiesty paperwork because y'all try to separate the separate him from the case.
I don't know what you're. So when you say that Pooh Shiesty's
Y'all
name is
try
in
to
Pooh's
separate
paperwork,
it Pooh Shiesty from the rest of them.
that's not what happened. I'm telling you, that's
No,
not what happened.
y'all
That
tried
couldn't have
to.
been what happened because you saying if they all see for that to happen, that debunks what you say happened. You telling me all three of the defendants agreed to the deal that was offered, but
They
all
all
three,
agreed to plead guilty.
okay, but all three get different sentencing or you know?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So one guy got 8, who got 4, what the other guy get?
No, Pooh got 5 and Bobby Brown got 4.
So 4, 5, and 8. Pooh got the mid. He's
Right.
the guy in the middle. Okay, so but you're saying that all three Cody's, I'm gonna make sure I'm right, agreed to give statement or sign off on what they all did collectively.
What I'm pretty much that's how you have to do it. It's not that they all they told on each other. You're sitting in this is how it works. You got 3 people sitting in a room, okay? Sitting in front of a judge. And then the question is, are you going to agree to be plead guilty? And are you going to agree that if this case goes to trial, this is what the government says that they're going to prove? Are you
Okay,
in agreement with that?
now Napoleon, I need you to understand this. We
Right.
understand what the government want to do,
Right.
right? And if this was goddamn Bow Wow or somebody, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But we also understand what the politics of the streets say we can't do.
Right.
And I think this is
So
that thin line. And I want you to hear this unorthodox,
right.
irrational way of shit, right?
Listen, bro, I grew
Okay,
up in Detroit in the 80s, so I get it. I know I got
you
on the
get
city,
what I'm
all that
saying,
other
right?
stuff, but I
You get
understand
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying.
So what you're saying is, look, my client and the other two clients all came together because the government is saying we are willing to give you 8, you 5, and you 4 if all three of you guys agree to these terms and the details of this document. On that document, it not only spelled out what Pooh Shiesty's involvement was, but it spelled out what the other two people's involvement was. Am I right?
And those other two people were there, but I want to clear something up really
No, no, no.
quickly.
I just no, no,
Because you
no.
don't
Because
get sentenced at the time that you agree to this document. So
so
those are
understand that. Understand
right.
that this is what's being offered. So the other two individuals signed the same document, right?
Everybody signed the same document.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this, right? And I might be a little out of line for it. And Ghost, Luce, 600, everybody on it, y'all call me out on it. It is what it is, right? How I'm seeing this is me, 600 and Luce, we got caught doing a robbery. Nigga, we looking at 20s. Legal that came together. Because of your criminal history, you looking at 8. Because of yours, you looking at 4. Because of mine, I'm looking at 5. We reading it. It says 600 was the driver, Luce was a gunman, and Wack, you gave the order on my paperwork. On 600 paperwork, it reads the same. On Luce paperwork, it reads the same, right? Now,
Right.
we know, according to the streets, that when we sign this document and
Before you
anybody
go into the
sees,
streets, I'm about to say the rest, and then we'll say the street later.
yeah, yeah, look, according to the streets, if anybody sees this document I signed with the word proffer in any way tied to it, they're going to say, I signed a document giving involvement on other people other than myself. Am I right?
Facts.
So but although all three of us have agreed, fuck it, bro, if this would it take for us to get the 8, the 5, and the 4, right? You cool with it? I'm cool with it. We sign it,
Right.
right? And the reason why I'm saying this, right? And once I say this, it's gonna open up all kind of doors and windows. Now I'm asking you, Luce, and 600, and you, Ghost, and other individuals in here. If we all agree to it, right? And these some young niggas, was they snitching on each other or was they in support of what they were signing, knowing that everybody's documents had the other names on it?
Okay, look, listen. First of all, we gonna go to trial because if we was all
No,
in
no, no.
the
But see, that
same,
ain't the
No,
situation.
he asked a question.
That ain't the situation, Luce. We talking about what this is. We know what we gonna do. It ain't even a. I'm gonna tell you, sign it. I'm not signing shit until
So
it
I'm gonna go
say
first.
That's
Cash
bullshit
Joe.
when you facing life
So
and they
I'm gonna
got
go
that shit
first.
on camera. People
So
can talk all that tough shit
No,
they
no,
want
no,
to,
Napoleon.
but
I
I'm
I've
hear
just
you,
been
saying
there,
when
but
you're
done
on
Napoleon,
that.
camera and everybody like fuck that, we ain't going to trial.
no,
You gonna
Napoleon,
sign that paperwork.
Napoleon. I
Napoleon,
hear you, and I'm trying to
Yeah, they
do.
from a
told, they
civilian
Hold
told
on.
standpoint though.
already.
You
I'm
supposed to
trying to
think
Like
like
kill
that,
that,
man.
two
Get
Napoleon.
out
birds
of
with
here,
one
bro.
stone
one at
Bro,
a
right now,
time.
right?
bro, get out of
I'm
here.
trying to kill Napoleon. Walk with me, right? I'm trying to
Yeah,
kill two birds with one stone.
right.
600. How do you see that? We all know, all three of our attorneys can talk to each other. We all know that all our names are in all our documents, and we got to sign this to avoid the dub. And all of us, I said, Luce, what's happening? Fuck it, I'm signing it. You sign it. We sign it. Okay, cool. Right?
So if we all
Six.
did that, we all snitched on each other according to the street rules, and that's
That's
just
a
how it
fact.
is.
That's a
Now,
fact.
if that's what happened, this hypothetical story that we just made up, if that's based on what they did, they told, and it is just what it is. Now, they probably won't get too much pressure from regular people because they was all in agreements. they'll
Yeah.
get a,
Now,
what
if
you
one of
call a
them
pass. Like,
people, I will tell you this, Napoleon, if one of them people get out of jail and say that ain't how it happened, it debunks everything. Now, outside of that, I'm gonna go to what you were saying, Napoleon.
Right.
Motherfucker, you looking at 20 years, 30 years, and all
No,
three of y'all
life.
life, and all three of y'all gotta agree to this, and they're documenting it the way they're documenting it for
And it's on
their own
camera. And
reasons.
it's on camera.
Yeah, and for their own reasons, I'm gonna say this, and I think I'm gonna leave a bad taste in people's mouth because I've revisited a lot of things when it comes to the streets, and as we all have, um, maybe some of this shit as stipulated, some of these things might need to be refreshing and revisited to where if two crimies are in agreement to sign a document with both their names on it, which we would see as, well, you told on him, right? And you told on him, but they're doing it to avoid a life sentence of 20 years, and both people are in agreement. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, bro. Maybe some of this shit need to be revisited and redetermined on really what that means.
so let me just say something. Like I was saying, I would just give you a straight answer based on the
Yeah,
streets.
yeah,
Me personally, I wouldn't be mad at those individuals if they all in agreements. If they all in agreement with that, I wouldn't persecute. I wouldn't say y'all snitched on each other. They all in agreements to get up out of this the best way we can. If they know they all caught dead bang. Now, me personally, I don't want to even be in them questions. I don't want to be in allegations. I would separate
yeah.
myself from the case. I don't know nothing. I don't know who that is. Give me what you gonna give me. But that's
Luce,
what you sign up for when you sign
yeah,
up for this street
for
stuff.
these streets. And this is why we tell the youth, Napoleon, me personally, everybody on this panel, hey, don't get involved in these streets because the rules is unorthodox. They don't make sense when it comes to certain things. You from Detroit, so you get it, right?
Right.
You're in a lose-lose situation.
You're in a
Let me
lose. How do you see it? Me, you, and 600. We looking at 50. They said, all right, we'll give you all 10, but all y'all gotta agree to this document, and on it say, I gave instructions. 600 was the driver, you was the gunman on your document. On my document, it reads the same. On 600 document, it reads the same. All
right.
our attorneys is talking to each other through us. Luce Cannon said, if you would it, he would it. 600 said, Wack said, you would it, he would it. To avoid the trial facing life, y'all get the 10, y'all go upstate.
Right.
What's your feeling on that?
Okay, so
My
you're
feeling,
asking me?
my
Luce,
Oh,
no, no. Okay, my feeling would be like I'm not being in nobody's paperwork. So if we
got
can't get it, if we can't
you. We going to
figure it
trial.
out, it's trial. That's
Got you.
it.
Got you. Okay, go ahead, Napoleon.
yeah. But see, here's the thing. I hear what you're saying. Okay. I understand it. But and it's easy for you to say that when you sitting out here in your car and you just chilling. But the
Now hold on,
reality
I've
of
hold
been
on,
in
it,
those situations.
hold
Yeah,
on.
okay, so let me ask you
everybody
a
I've
on
been to
here.
question.
the pen.
Let
I've
me
been
Let me just
shot.
right.
I've been through all that.
okay. Look,
Okay.
let me
Go
just
ahead.
say this. Let's
I'm gonna
not
let you go
say.
ahead.
Let's
Let
just
him
not
finish,
say
Six.
what.
Let him finish.
Oh,
Let him.
No, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna finish. I'm not gonna forget what I'm gonna
Go ahead.
say. Go ahead.
okay. So let's just say let's forget about if we in this situation or not. In those documents, the Pooh Shiesty's documents, is that what happened? They all
What do you
agreed that
mean?
they were all. Did they all agree that they were all involved?
It was on camera.
Okay,
It was
I'm not
on
asking what was on
camera.
camera.
Okay,
I don't care
Napoleon,
about.
let me explain
He's
something to you.
We're
Right.
not
missing
This
it.
is
asking
He's
what
what's
not
you're
on
telling
dealing
camera.
you
with,
that.
Napoleon. Hold
Right.
on, this is what
But
you're
let me
dealing with.
let me. I'm gonna answer a question.
Napoleon,
I know
if
what he's
all
asking.
wives walked in and saw us fucking a woman, and she gave us the opportunity to get dressed and walk out and get in the car and leave, we're gonna tell our wife that wasn't us.
No,
This
I
is what
understand
Facts.
you're
that.
dealing with,
Right.
right?
Right.
So whether it's on camera or not, right? We are trained and we are committed to these politics to say all
Take it
we
to our
see
graves.
is us, right?
Right.
This is
Right.
the streets, right?
Hmm.
Now, I'm gonna say something at closing when we get to that point, and I'm just gonna
Let me
stand on what I'm
can I
saying.
ask can let me just can I finish the question? What you actually asked me before? Okay. So your question is if everybody's paperwork says the exact same thing, And this is a very, very important point. Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
something that y'all have to understand about this particular case. Nobody else's name is in that paperwork. Nobody else's name that's not sitting right there is in that paperwork whatsoever. So if you're saying, and I'm gonna be 100. Listen, I'm trying not to, I hear what people are saying about like people paperwork and things like that, but you're talking about something very, very different. You're talking about a piece of paper that is prepared by the government where they're saying that if they were to go to trial, this is what they're saying that they would be able to prove. Okay? It's
Did
not that
So that's
you're
okay to
saying it,
snitch.
huh?
Okay.
Let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question real quick. All right, so the dude who got shot, right? What happened to him?
He testified at the sentencing hearing.
Okay, because in that paperwork, right? Another thing that's in that factual proffer is they admitting that they was going to buy drugs from him, right? They admitted that,
No,
right?
no, that's
In the
not in the
factual,
paperwork.
in the factual proffer, it says that.
No,
It
I
says they
mean,
went to
listen,
buy.
it's
It says they went to purchase marijuana and codeine.
in the factual proper. Let me pull
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
You the attorney. You should know.
So, like I was saying, why you pull that up, right?
What
Um, if that's the
600?
case, if they all agree to that,
Y'all really playing games with this? Cuz he's the
no, no,
no,
attorney.
no.
He
no,
knows.
I'm just making it
listen.
simple. I'm just
Luce,
making it
Ghost just
simple
put
for
it in
people.
front of him, so he got to go get it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Ghost got
So
the
while
paperwork.
he's getting that, I'm just saying this. Um, if that's just the messed up rules that we got involved in street stuff. They were trying to get the best deal for themselves and in agreements to that. So they say, okay, cool. We're not telling nobody else. We caught dead bang. We're gonna agree to this and get the best deal.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm not caught dead bang
I'm
if
not
they got a
I'm not
video
saying
camera.
you are
I'm not
that's
pointing myself out. Like,
I'm
come
just
on.
putting
Nobody
everything
You
pointing.
on the
gonna point
Nobody
table.
had to
yourself
say
out and be like,
No,
anything.
oh
no,
yeah,
no.
these was the
Well,
other
Luce,
two?
hold on, Luce. Let me
No,
correct you in
Luce.
that.
I'm just putting
You
everything
can
on the
cop to
table.
what you did and be good, right? But the minute you say, "Yeah, he did this, he did that,"
That's
and I
not what
did
happened.
this,
That's not what happened.
okay, no,
Okay,
we
the
just
only
have
way
to
the only way
have
we can get to the bottom of this is this. We got to get the actual document of what they agreed to.
Well,
That's the only way we
Well,
can
no,
stop
he's
it.
sending that. Ghost
Okay.
has the other
Right.
documents, and Napoleon. I want to touch base
Tell me
with
what.
what
Tell
he's
give me
saying.
a. Tell him to give me a docket entry number. How about that?
Hold
Because I
on.
got the case pulled up. Since you
Uh,
got a document, give me the docket entry number.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, not yet.
um, that work you saying, Ghost?
That's that. Yeah, that's it.
So while they're
United
finding
States
that,
of America versus Latrell
Napoleon,
Williams Robert.
Yep, that's it.
while they're
That's
finding
that's
that,
his factual
Case
proffer and
number
that's his plea agreement.
21. Hold on one second. 21-20357-CR-Moore/Lewis is what
Right.
that is, Napoleon.
That's the case number, and the Moore is the judge.
Okay, what else do you want on that? I'm just giving
Well,
it to
what's the?
you.
I want to know that it should have a. It should say DE something at the top of it. It should say docket entry number something. Period E period. Then it should have a number on it.
Hey, case number, defendant number, factual. This is the factual proffer I'm looking at. Enter on FLDS docket. That's not it. Hold on. Here, let me send this to you, brother. I'm just gonna send it to you so you have it. You ain't gotta be.
Does it say document number at the top?
I'm about to send it to you right now.
All right.
You get that?
Hold on one second. You texted to me or you?
I
Yeah, I got
text
it. Hold on one
you.
second.
We on the, I'm gonna send you another one. Ghost, that's those two PDFs you sent earlier, right?
Yeah, that's both of them. Yeah.
There you have it. Luce, let me send it to you in 600 so y'all have it.
all right. But yeah,
Did the
Napoleon, it's
I got it. Right. I got it.
did the victim who got shot, did he ever get charged at all with anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And do you see the victim's name in his factual proffer? Nope.
Not victim name definitely ain't in there.
Right. Do you see anybody else's name other than the three people who got together and was like, we ain't going to trial on this shit? Nope.
So let me clear this up, Napoleon. You're saying even in their agreement paperwork not to go to trial, the other two people names was not in Pooh's paperwork.
What other two people?
The other two is Cody's.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm just telling you that there's nobody's name in the paperwork except the people who agreed that we ain't going to trial.
So that's the Cody's and Pooh. They're
So let me
all
ask
in
you a
each other's
question.
paperwork, is what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question really quickly.
Okay.
Did you see the video?
Definitely, yeah, I saw the video.
How many people were there?
It was more than 3 people.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you think that the government was interested in figuring out who those people were?
No, they was interested in Pooh and who was with him.
Okay. And who was with who? How many people?
I can't tell you how many of them people was actually with him and wasn't with him.
Okay. And then how many people were with the other people? It was at least 10 people out there,
It was
right?
about 10 people out there, yeah.
Okay, so if it's 10 people out there and this is he supposedly snitched, what happened to those other people? Why they didn't get charged? If
I
he
don't
if he
know.
told on everybody.
Did he know their
Okay,
identity?
Napoleon.
Come on,
Are we
bro.
on
I don't,
trial?
Napoleon. I don't think no one's saying that he told on everybody. It's kind
No,
of
we're not
like, you
saying
know,
that.
yeah. I don't think that
We're
no
not
one's saying
saying
that he
that.
told on
What,
everybody.
what we're trying to clear up
Okay.
is the proffer word in his paperwork. And we're trying to clear it as if what you're telling us that it was the word was used on the government side of what they found out.
Of what they believe that they were going to prove at trial. That is
Exactly.
literally what it says. You agreed that the government would thinks that they can prove these particular facts at trial. And let me clear something up. Let me be crystal clear. If what you're saying is, according to y'all, nobody can plead guilty if they have a code. In other words, because I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 20
No, no,
years.
no. What I'm saying is, if you from these streets, your guilty plea
That's
cannot involve you giving information on anybody other than yourself.
They didn't give information. They never talked to the government. They never sat down with the government. It was this is what the government claimed that they were going to prove. And this is a very important point. They never gave these names. It's not like they were like, oh yeah, that's Bobby Brown right there. Oh yeah, that's Pooh Shiesty right there. Oh yeah, that's Jayden DeRosa. That never happened.
All right, y'all, there it is. There is a part 2 with one of Pooh Shiesty'S codees who hasn't given an interview yet. And he comes on live to try to clear things up. Is this going to redefine those ridiculous street rules and street codes? Is it going to prove that all of that is a myth anyway? Nobody told on anybody. All 3 names were there. They're on camera. And they said, we're going to do this. It's almost like making an agreement prior to a crime going down if you anticipate getting caught, and say, this is what we're going to do if that. And they did it. No other people were implicated. They said there were 10 plus people out there. The only people that were on camera that copped out to doing it are the people that signed the agreement. So, according to the unorthodox, irrational street rules, they told. But on who? They never sat with the government, never talked to the government. The document was prepared, and you telling them 20 plus versus 8, 5, and 4, and they took it. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Shout out to the 100 Show channel for live streaming this. It's your boy, The Answer, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, we out.